Am I?
Yeah.
How do I look?
Acceptable.
Well, usually we say good morning, but we can't say good morning because it's pretty late, actually. But we wanted to do a kind of different video over the next couple of days, just to introduce ourselves more, show you around our life a little more in depth than just kind of our, our crazy stunts and challenges and blah, blah, blah. So today we decided we wanted to do we were going to do draw our life or draw a relationship, but we both suck at drawing.
Terrible. I mean, if I try really, really, really hard, then yeah, but if I, no.
So we're going to just kind of give you a brief overview of our lives, and we'll go from there. Instead of subjecting you to looking at our ridiculous drawings, you can look at our ridiculous faces instead.
So pull up a chair, get a box or a bag of popcorn, and snuggle up with us.
What was that?
I don't know.
Oh God. Cut.
So we're gonna introduce to you Matthew.
I was born April 11th, 1992. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yay! In Monmouth County, New Jersey. Whatever. Moved from there to South Florida when I was 1, so I don't really remember it. The only thing I remember, or not really remember, but I've been told is I fell down the stairs and into the basement when I was a baby. That's probably why I got this little knot here and I get constant headaches. So thanks, Mom. Anyway.
And it explains a lot.
From there we moved to South Florida. Pretty much raised in a Brady Bunch kind of life, family dinners. I have, how many brothers? 3 brothers, 1 sister, and a stepsister. So family, 6 kids, 2 parents, so it was a pretty busy household anyway. But it was your typical Brady Bunch. We had dinner every night. Sunday family dinners. The grandparents would come over, or we'd go over there, or we'd go out to dinner, or we'd go to breakfast together.
He was very family oriented as far as I've been told.
My family was pretty close knit for the first pretty much my whole life until recent years, but we'll revisit that later. I was at school, I was pretty much a loner, just kind of kept to myself, was a gamer, pretty much into World of Warcraft my whole adolescent years. Consumed most of my free time after school, before school, when I skipped school. So I was pretty much a loner. I went to school, didn't have very many friends, maybe 2 friends I can remember. Really only hung out with them in school, not too much out of school. As a I can give you a little. As a kid, I was pretty active in sports. I was a baseball player, pitcher actually, and I was actually very good. I probably could have at least done college baseball. I know it doesn't look like it for my physique, but I was a pitcher, so I did not really have to run that much. I definitely probably could have done college baseball, but I dropped out of school at, how old was I? 17. So I didn't really get to see that, I wouldn't say dream, but that opportunity come to Florisha. Is that the word? Florisha? Florisha?
Anyways.
I'm trying to keep this as chronological as possible, but I'm not really good at that, so I'm trying. I had braces growing up. Pretty much straightened my teeth. They're a little crooked now, but other than that, I kind of let them go to crap, which is pretty much my fault. I was, like I said, consumed in World of Warcraft. Didn't take care of my teeth so much. The World of Warcraft is quite the addictive drug.
He was zoned out to the world. It was like talking to this. Hey, Matt.
I mean, that pretty much, my childhood wasn't really that exciting. It was actually pretty average. Nothing crazy happened in my life. We didn't really move my entire childhood. We stayed at the same spot, the same house, up until I was about 16. Then we started moving. My parents bought a business. So, we started doing financially better. So we moved into a nicer house. But at that point, I moved out to live with Mary.
Okay, shh, not yet.
I know. That's what I said. Trying to go chronological here. My first job was McDonald's, as I'm sure a lot of people has. I lasted there about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and in that time, I must say I did make the news, so I was a celebrity. It was nothing fancy. They were doing an interview. I was in the background cleaning trays, but I was on the news, so it still counts.
Nice. That's better than me.
After that, I went into the family business, which I'm not going to say, but I went into the family business, worked with my parents for the next 3 years, 4 years, yeah, 4 years. Like I said, I mean, my childhood was pretty standard. Baseball, video games, not too many friends, kept to myself, didn't really exercise. That's pretty much it. I'm trying to think of something that stands out as interesting.
Didn't you have all day to think about this?
I did. I had all day. And I had a boring, not boring, I would say, but pretty average. You know, we went on vacations, went on cruises, and you know, went to Disney, Universal, but nothing too. We didn't do nothing crazy. Like, I mean, we went to church Sunday.
You kissed a stingray on the lips.
Yeah, I mean, but that was. I mean, who hasn't kissed a stingray? Who wouldn't just take those lips and just no?
Not this girl.
But yeah, I mean, as far as my childhood goes, is pretty average. I keep saying that because nothing comes to mind. Video games, baseball, school. And back to the dropping out of school point, I probably shouldn't have because I was a straight A student. It's tooting my own horn, but I'm very smart. I mean, I dropped out of high school with a 3.9, 3.8 to 4.0. It fluctuated, obviously. But, I mean, I was pretty much straight A student in honors classes and blah, blah, blah. So, on to Mary. Didn't you have all day to think about it?
I did, but I don't have to think about it.
Obviously
really.
You do, because you can't start. All right, let's start. Mary was born...
I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn. Yeah. Like it's any better than Jersey.
Your jersey's dirty.
Yeah.
So if you ever see any of the vlogs of me saying coffee or
Coffee.
water,
My Brooklyn
Bella
water.
runs around with saying coffee, so it's my fault. I moved there to Florida when I was 2, so I don't remember much of anything either. I didn't have a super exciting childhood either. My dad was really, really, really strict kind of guy. He was full Italian, so there was no kind of going out or doing anything, or, you know, I was never allowed to cross the street.
Oh, daddy's girl.
Yeah, I had to ride my bike from like one house, maybe 3 houses over and back. It was very strict. I was on a very tight leash. I remember when I was in, elementary school. Every once in a while on Fridays, I'd ask my mom, can I skip school? Can I skip school? She'd let me skip school. We didn't tell Dad, obviously.
Uh-oh. Is he going to yell at you after seeing this video?
No. Not until you hear the rest of the story. It would be pointless anyway. I already got yelled at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't go to playgrounds with kids. I didn't hang out at anybody's house. I never went to a friend's house. They never came over to my house. There was no, like, walking down the street and going to the pool or doing any. It was very strict on the nose, done. You had to stay in the front yard. We moved again when I was probably 10 or so. And around that time, my sister had my niece and nephew, so 90% of the time I was there, babysitting all the time. And that was kind of my out, really. And then after that, I was in high school at the time. I didn't have really very many friends either. I was a very quiet person. I did my stuff and I left. I was just not the person for the drama and the he said, she said, and da, 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 da. I was just not, no, it wasn't me. So I went to school, went home, that was it. That's all I did, every day. A little situation happened, kind of skipped my world around to a totally different spot. I moved in with my sister, with my mom, and that's when I went a little crazy and finally got the freedom. Freedom. I was all over the place. I was doing all crazy stuff. I had a thing with a bunch of friends that I met in her neighborhood. We went mudding, we played in the dirt, we got trucks stuck. We got it was
That doesn't
just,
sound
it,
fun
it
at
was a
all.
lot of fun actually. It was a whole lot of fun. It was a lot of
Cleans
fun.
up that mess.
No, we took it to those gas stations with the openings, and you can spray the whole trucks down. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's great. Ruined that guy's drain system because you wanted to go mudding.
We were kids. We had fun, and that's how I met Lauren, which is our pretty close friend.
It's probably the only friend.
It's
we
about
have.
the only friend I have, and I'm fine with that. Really, I'm okay with that. My first job, I was 14 years old. It was Publix. Who doesn't have their first job at Publix? Forget about McDonald's. Publix is where it's at. They have great benefits.
But nobody outside of Florida knows what Publix is.
Oh, well, it's a grocery store.
Publix is like the biggest grocery store in South Florida.
I started off as a cashier. That was fun. It lasted maybe...
They trusted you counting money?
I was never good. See, we're gonna
Shit,
go back to
no.
the whole school thing.
No,
I'm
she's not
terrible.
good. Terrible. There you go.
Terrible at math. I have no patience for that, and I'll tell you why. We'll go back like a few years. My dad is just drilled into the ground every day, every single night for hours. How many pennies are in a dollar? How many quarters are in a dollar? How many dimes are in a dollar? How many nickels? I could go on for hours. I wasn't allowed to sleep until I answered the questions. Hours. Like hours. I was screamed at and yelled at. And I've lost zero interest in any numbers. I have no interest in any of them. So when I think about numbers, I don't want to. And then when you put in the whole XYZ in it, it's just over there. It's just like nosedive.
Mary can't comprehend
No, I can't.
even basic algebra.
This is why I have him around. It's okay. I can cook dinner. I can clean. I can cook. I can take care of my kids. It has nothing to do with math. I'm good. But I went to a particular high school, and when everything happened and I had to move with my mom, I went to a particular high school, and I told her I really didn't want to go there. It was not a good school for me. It was a bad school. I didn't want to go, and I found myself in a particular relationship, and it was an abusive relationship, mentally, physically, emotionally, the whole 9 yards. So I dropped out of school. It was like 9th grade-ish, 10th grade, somewhere around there. I don't remember. It was stupid of me. If I could go back and do it again in a normal brain right now, I'd probably stay. But what are you gonna do? I stayed in that and now we're gonna go back, continue to stay in the relationship, continue to work at Publix. I eventually quit Publix and found a few other jobs. I worked at Office Depot. God, I can give you all. Worked at the dollar store.
Mary is a jack of all trades. She
Hey.
installed tile. She worked at Publix, Office Depot, a waitress.
I could grout tile all day.
Yeah,
I can do a lot of, and that was another thing. That was my dad taught me a lot of that stuff. Where I always had a hammer and nails in my hands all the time at home. It was crazy, but I could fix anything.
You had nails in your hand?
Hammers and nails. I mean, shut up. I could fix anything if I really tried. I could. But really, I'm
stay
the one.
focused.
Okay, exactly. Anyway, I waitressed at a few beach clubs, special little beach clubs, little fancy ones. You have to be members to be in. That was cool. And then I just kind of did me. I just hung out. Hung out with my friends. I had friends out of school. In school, didn't have friends.
Any hobbies and interests? Crocheting?
No, I like to read. We went to the beach a lot. Went mudding a lot. Just walked around the neighborhood and just.
So basically
hung
did
out.
nothing.
No, I basically did nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. Like, it was fun for me, but it wasn't like, oh, look, let's go do that. Yay! No, it wasn't that exciting.
All right.
I'm not
Is
done.
that it? Oh,
I'm not
no.
done.
Okay, sorry.
I'm not done.
I thought you were done.
I'm not done.
It sounded like we were at the point where we met. Sorry.
And I eventually, in the relationship that I was in, I eventually moved into a house we were renting together. And he left and went to another state. We were still together.
Who's he?
The couple boyfriend I was with before you, way before you. It wasn't really way before him. And a friend of mine went to a store, and goes on how we met each other.
Okay, so
I want to
We
hear
met-
his side of the story. I'm dying to hear this. How he phrases it.
Mary and I met in a reptile store that I worked in. My parents owned it. It was separate than the other business. We kind of took it up as a hobby business, so to speak. My little brother fell in love with reptiles. My dad fell in love with reptiles. So,
Let's buy a store.
right.
It's like that movie
mean-
we bought a zoo.
Right. So they bought a reptile store and we opened one and I worked there, and then one day Mary, her and her friend came in because her snake, she had a ball python, had,
Neurological problem.
I forget what the disease is.
Yeah, I forgot the terminology
I think
for
it's
it.
IBS.
No, that's irritable bowel syndrome.
No, I know, but I think it's the same thing. I don't know, where the snake like goes all cockeyed and starts bending all weird ways like
Kind
this.
of like he falls over and he can't he has no
It's kind of like the snake has permanent vertigo. Anyway, so she brought it into me.
My poor little guy.
I told her that the snake was basically going to die because it was. She was upset. And that was really our first encounter, so to speak. Her and her friend kind of went around the store for a little bit, and then they left while cussing out the other store that they bought it from because she was super upset.
Well, I forgot to tell you, but at the time I was like into the whole, I want to get a snake. I want to, we would bounce around reptile stores and look at all their cool snakes. And I really wanted this one particular snake, and I couldn't have it because it needed a license to have it.
Stop banging on the table.
I can't stop moving. It's just, I can't, anyway.
It's the Brooklyn Italian, just
I can't.
telling a story.
I can't do it. I'll try. The albino Burmese python. And I loved this snake. He had one in his store. And he had a pretty cool store, so I continued to keep going.
We had a monkey,
The monkey Scrappy.
Scrappy.
He used to.
Focus, stay on topic. Sorry.
It's your fault.
Sorry.
So he had that snake, and the store seemed very interesting, and it was close by to our house. So, we continued to keep going and hanging out. But
She thought I was sexy.
He was pretty sexy. But because I was taken, he had an interest in my other friend.
Listen, Mary was in a loving relationship with her past boyfriend. So when they came
If you
in,
call that love, it's more of a stuck and I don't know how to get out relationship.
Mary was in a loving relationship with her then boyfriend. So I naturally didn't progress because I'm not really that kind of person, which kind of contradicts how this story is going to go. but
Yeah.
Anyway, so I had more interest in the friend at that point.
Which partly irritated the crap out of me. We kept hanging out. I would invite him over. Hey, come hang out with us. And he said, oh, sure. He ditched his family going to Disney World to hang out with us. Oh, wait, no.
No.
Did you?
But anyway, they all took a trip to Disney World. They didn't invite me for whatever reason. So
I could have sworn they did. And then you said you didn't want to go.
no, they didn't invite me. I don't care what everybody says. I know I wasn't invited because who wouldn't go? Anyway, so I had like a week of nothing to do, so Mary would always come by the store, say, hey, come hang out. So after the store closed, I'd go there and we'd hang out and we'd do all sorts of ridiculous things like,
Oh, the potato launcher.
right. In case you haven't noticed by our vlogs, I'd like to do a lot of weird, stupid things.
Likes to blow things up and make things.
Right. So like we'd make a potato launcher. I thought was pretty awesome. It was pretty cool.
It was awesome.
It was the trending thing at the time before like YouTube really got big. Like this was as YouTube started becoming a thing. But anyway,
Should have
made
YouTubed that.
we go buy like fireworks and shoot mortars at the football field that was behind the house, and we try and hit the lights. Not the most responsible thing to be doing, but that's what we did. We tried to launch a chair into the air with one of the fireworks.
That ended.
I know this isn't really about us, but I really want to tell you this.
That ended badly.
We took a lawn chair, we put it over the tube of the mortar, put the mortar in, lit it. So the mortar zoomed up, hit the chair, fell right back down into the backyard.
Exploded everywhere.
Exploded into the backyard, and the backyard wasn't that big. Like all the ashes and sparks flew at us, hit the windows, the sliding glass doors were shaking.
Imagine a giant firework that goes pew, and it's so pretty in the sky. It was on the ground.
Yeah,
in our faces.
Yeah, that was not fun.
That was the first night he protected me. Oh. And you melted my chair.
Yes, the chair was gone after that. Rest in peace, chair. That kind of activity continued on for a few months. Mary was still with her boyfriend.
Yeah, he was around at the time.
Yeah, I mean, he came back from his trip, obviously, and then she'd bring him into the store, and so that kind of flourished for about, I don't know, 3 to 4 months, and then I don't even know how it came up. They just asked me if I wanted to move in with them, which I thought was a little odd, but...
Well, no, there was a reason.
Well, I mean, I was like 16, 17. I was living by myself in a house my parents owned, but I was living by myself. So, 16-year-old kid living by himself, it was cool, it was nice and all, can do whatever I want, my own house, blah, 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 but, I was kind of lonely, for lack of a better word. So when Mary and her boyfriend asked me to move in, I basically said sure. I told my parents, peace, I'm out of here. No, I didn't say it like that. I asked them, they said sure, whatever you want to do, because whatever reason. So I moved in with them, and this is where my contradictory statement comes into play. Lived with them about 2-3 months, and I hung out with her boyfriend, and she would always kind of spitter and putter around in the background, and hang out with him. And then we got closer and closer, Mary and I did, because the boyfriend at the time didn't really seem to give a crap. So she'd always hang out with me. We'd always go to like Walmart or Walgreens and just hang out there and get out of the house because we didn't like him.
He was a jerk.
He was okay.
He was a jerk.
I mean, he was okay to me. I didn't really notice what was going on at the time.
I'm going to pause him because really, in a long time in the relationship, like I said, there's a lot of abuse, physically, a lot of physical and mental and all that other fun stuff. So, deep down inside, if you're in a relationship like that, and I try to explain to him, if you're in a relationship like that, nothing else looks like this is all you got. So deep down inside, I tried to find an out, and I couldn't really, I didn't know what to do. So I just continued my daily thing. I continued the crap. I continued, dealing with it, taking care of him. And, he was just not a go-getter. He didn't, so yes, I had a lot of jobs. Yes, I worked a lot. When he came around, it was kind of like an out. And
would you say I was your knight in shining armor?
I would say so, yes.
Oh, how cute. So anyway, I moved in with them for about 2-3 months. Her and I got a lot closer. I could feel that something was happening as far as between us. And it got very uncomfortable around the house because I think the boyfriend thought something was amiss. I moved in with my grandma because they rented the house I was living in, and the house they moved into was too small because, like I said, we have a large family. My 2 older siblings were away in college. My 3 younger ones were at home with them, so that house was pretty much at capacity. So I had really nowhere to go, so I moved in with my grandma. So from there, we continued our relationship. We'd go on, Mary would sneak out of the house. I took Mary on our first date to the movie theater to go see Drag Me to Hell. And
also I could snuggle.
Right, pro move, scary movie. Mary left her boyfriend, moved in with me at my grandmother's house, and we spent the first, I would say, 3-4 years of our relationship moving from house to house to house to house to house. We in that 4-year period, we probably moved
like 7 times.
7 or 8 times. We moved from my grandma's to a condo, back to my grandma's, and then we moved to a trailer, then we moved to an apartment, then we moved to another house. We moved quite a bit, trying to find our footing, so to speak, in this world. I mean, we were pretty young when that was all going down, probably about 18. I was about 18. Mary probably would have been about 20, 21.
No, I was 20.
Mary's older than me. We moved into a townhouse. My brother came back from college. And from there, it was really pretty much the same. I was in the family business. Mary was in my family business.
Yeah, we did all that together.
She was taking care of the office. Some of the office responsibilities.
I was playing with the little animals.
And she was playing at the reptile store. I was doing things for the reptile store and our other family business.
We bounced back and forth.
Yeah. At that point, my family started falling apart. There was a big rift in the family. I'm not going to go into specifics, but my mom and dad divorced, separated our family. Everybody hated everybody. It's everybody's fault. Blah blah blah. So it kind of tore everything down, and Mary and I were kind of left stranded. No, I wouldn't say stranded, but all I had was my little job that I cut off from the business. Mary had no job at that point, and we got evicted from our apartment. Mary was pregnant at that time with Bella. We moved into a foreclosed home. It was basically free for us to live there. I got 2 jobs. I had the little bit of the business that I saved. I don't want to say the other word. And I got another job. And we pretty much stayed there. Life kind of moved forward. We kind of got settled, got our feet
back on the ground.
Back on the ground, and then Bella came. Little Bella. Bella was born September 21st, 2011. Bella was born, and we were still in that foreclosed house.
But with Bella, it kind of put us into a new perspective on life. Like everything, it just changed everything. We're just like, okay, we have to.
Yeah, if you don't have kids, it's a lot easier because you, as an adult or a couple,
could muddle around.
You can survive if you don't have any food or any money. You could be like, well, I got $1, so I'll just go get some ramen noodles. But a kid, they're gonna want to eat 3, 4, 5. If you're Bella, 10 times a day.
Right.
So you need things. So you actually need. You can't really just scrape by. It's a lot harder to just scrape by. And if you're having troubles, the little money that you do have, you want to give to your kid, make your kid happy, buy him a little toy or buy him, even a cheeseburger at that point from McDonald's was woo, because, you just didn't have any money. After Bella was born, I don't know, probably 4 months after Bella was born, the foreclosed house, it got mold in it, obviously. Well, not obviously, but
another mold problem.
Right. The foreclosed house got mold, so we had to move, and we found somebody who was renting a house. It was a small house. I mean, it was like 600 square feet.
It's a tiny house.
2 bedrooms. So there wasn't a lot of space, but it was cheap.
And it was cute. It was kind of like a little humble abode for us. So we were like, oh, okay, we could do this.
Yeah, so
whatever.
We moved in there. It was cheap. I think it was like $500 a month, if I remember correctly. And, we couldn't really afford much more. So we were living there for a while. I was building my own business while working the other job. And we finally got our feet set into the ground instead of just on the ground, and things were going great. Right. Business. Everything was going a lot better, and we moved
again
to
a bigger house, more.
It was
definitely feasible for us. 3 bedroom, 2 bath, backyard with a pool, and it was more feasible.
Right.
Family growing house.
Right. It was 1,400 square feet, so more room to move around. It was definitely something we could grow into, and we definitely did. Pretty much everything stayed the same after that. We kept building the business. I quit my second job, focused mainly on the business. Things were going good. Mary got pregnant again. I don't know how that happens, but Mary got pregnant with another baby.
You don't know how that happens,
huh? Little Luciano, Mr. Poupe.
He was born on
June 18th, 2016. Ooh. The reason that birthday for us is hard to remember. We actually finally just got it down after a year because he had, if you watch Mary, the other video, he had a lot of complications at birth. So his whole birthing, I don't know what you call it.
Experience,
his birthing experience, but pretty much a blank for us. I know it, in retrospect, it wasn't anything serious, but when you're in that situation and you're giving birth, or you're like me, you're watching your son get born, it's pretty traumatizing to even to see that, because the he's grunting, all these people are scurrying around and trying to make sure the baby's okay, which is great, but it's scary at the same time. Grunting, he's not breathing. He came out, he was like a blueberry. Right. So anyway, so we finally got it down. We don't know his birth weight. We don't know his birth height.
I have to look at the papers because
right.
there was just so much going on. It's just like,
I mean, Bella, we knew her stuff like the back of our hand. But
yeah,
anyway. So after he was born, we pretty much stayed the same. my family continued to riff. Mary's family started riffing even more, and
Oh, yeah.
Mary's family slowly declined, so it was less hard for her. I shouldn't say less hard, but it was a prolonged experience. My family kind of got pulled out from under the rug, so to speak. Like
Yeah.
like it just boom, everybody hated each other, and the family started falling apart. Mary's kind of so. After, I don't know, a year or two of living, I mean, all of our family lived like in one central location for the most part.
Yeah.
So, after a year or two of living in between that basically, because Mary and I were always neutral. We were always Switzerland.
We tried.
Do you know Switzerland?
Yes.
You know that reference?
Yes.
Okay.
We tried.
So Mary and I were always neutral.
We
always
tried.
We always tried to be the mediators, help everybody.
Right.
I've never taken side in any of this. Neither really is Mary. And everybody would want to talk to us, complain to us, and
Yeah. And it's
blah blah blah. And it really became too much for us. It started to affect our family life, not just our family, but like our home family, like
Right.
Bella and Mary and
Yes,
Luke.
it started affecting Bella. I mean, really not much of Lucky all that much because
Right.
he's still a baby. He's only a year old.
He doesn't know what's
right.
up.
So he
Give him a
doesn't-
cookie, he's
and He's
happy.
happy. You give him food, he's golden. But for Bella, she knows everybody. So when people in her life start separating, she doesn't understand. So as parents, we try to find an out. A easier way to help her understand, and there was nothing. We couldn't do anything, couldn't say anything because there was no understanding for a 4-year-old, 5-year-old. So
Well, she would have been 4 at the
right.
time.
So as parents, we made a very large decision.
We sold my business and moved up here to Central Florida, where we are now. We moved here March 1st. March 1st. So what is it? July. So it's 4 months. We've been here 4 months now, and I would say it's been probably one of the best decisions we've made as
Yeah.
a collective unit.
We started our YouTube. We
started our YouTube.
Yeah.
Just to kind of document our life. And everything's been great up here. We live close to Disney, which is a plus, but that's not even the thing. It's more small towny feeling here. I don't know if you've ever been to Palm Beach County. Palm Beach County is like New York City of the South. It's very blah.
Yeah.
Everybody just doesn't give a crap about anything, and it's just do. Just go. I don't know. I think everybody, I can't speak for everybody, but I think everybody here is happier in general.
I'm personally happier here.
And Bella
I-
seems to be happier. Even though she misses her friends and
She misses some of her friends, but we still keep in contact. She still FaceTimes them, runs around the house with the FaceTime. They come up here, we'll go down there. So, we do still keep a relationship with everybody as best as that we can due to the distance, one, and two, the oddness of everything. So, like I said, as parents, we figured that we would make a new life and, grab life and bring it here and try to build on a better note. And it's good for us. Yes, she says that she misses some people and she wants to go see them, and we go see them.
to sum it up easily, we moved up here, and it took us basically out of the trauma of the whirlwind that was down in our family circle down in Palm Beach County. So we're happier here. We don't have to deal with the day in and day out nonsense, and we're close enough that if people wanted to come see us or we wanted to go see them, it's possible. It's only 3 hours away. It's not like we moved across the country, so it's definitely possible.
Right. And with the YouTube, we kind of think of it as a giant photo album. So we not only do the YouTube for, to constantly record everything that our kids do and that our families do so that we can look back in a few years and say, oh, look what Bella did, or look what Lucky did, or Dad light his hand on fire. Wow. So
I'll still be doing that in 2 years,
So it really brings us together as a family. We do so much together during the day. It's always, let's vlog, Daddy, let's vlog, let's do this, let's do that. So we're always doing something together. So as a family of 4, we've grown so close together than we ever were before, because there was so much nonsense going on, and we had to, you know, look over our shoulders and look at this person, and it was just too much. So we made this decision, and we're very happy with it.
And that pretty much gives you a brief overview of our life from birth until now. I mean, it wasn't too specific, but it gave you a brief overview, get to know us a little better, and introduce our family a little more to you guys. That's really pretty much it. I mean,
if you've seen our previous videos, we were at the Disney's Wedding Pavilion, and if you guys saw what we were doing, a little secret that we have for you: we are not married. We've been together for about 10 years.
our official date is June 12th, 2008, which would be 9 years. But we really started dating before that.
Right.
But we just didn't really have. We came up with that date in the middle of dating, and it was. I think it was just the day that day. We're
Yeah,
like, hey,
it was.
how long have we been dating for? And we're like, I don't know. So we're like, oh well, today's our official day. So we
Right.
started that day, and it's been 9 years, maybe 10. And yes, I still haven't married her, but she's worth it. But I got to do it right. I can't just say, here's a pen. Will you marry me?
I'm good with the pen.
No,
Really.
you got to do something.
No,
something
I'm good.
special.
I'm good with. I don't care. I'm not that girl. I don't need it all. I don't care.
Nobody said it all. It has to be special. Anyway, this is getting a little long-winded. Probably. I can imagine how long this video is. I hope you guys enjoyed getting to know us a little better.
If you have
Tomorrow-
If you have any questions you want to ask us, we'll make another video and we'll answer your questions.
Yeah, we didn't have any questions.
Yeah, we didn't have any questions.
So
if you have,
we decided to make our own question and answer thing and just kind of tell you about us.
Yeah.
But if you have anything specific you would like us to answer, leave it in the comments. We'll answer it. Or if we get enough of them, we'll just do a video of it. And we're off, right?
off to Neverland. No, I'm just
No.
kidding.
No, now I gotta go sit and edit the video. See, that's where I'm off to. It's literally, you can't see in this view, but literally, I'm gonna take this camera, move it 3 feet right here, take the memory card, stick it in the computer, and edit it. So I'm not going off to Neverland.
I'm not either.
And remember, like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And we will see you guys tomorrow with a little more getting to know us videos before our big trip that I think you guys will enjoy.
And remember, all our videos, no matter what, are always made with love.
Peace.
Mwah!